5 sinister practices that are actually legal. In an era wherein technological advancements and scientific discoveries proliferate by the day, it's hard to believe that some practices shunned by the modern world are still prevalent and legal in certain countries. And it's indeed appalling as to why these practices aren't thrown into obsolescence yet. Number 5. Lapidation or stoning. In 2008, a 13-year-old Somali girl named Aisha reported to the militia controlling the city that she was raped by 3 men. Instead, she was accused of adultery. She was buried neck-deep at a stadium in southern Somalia and stoned to death by 50 men in full view of 1,000 witnesses. Like Aisha, women alleged of adulterous acts in Islamic countries, especially in Pakistan, Iran, and Somalia, may suffer the same fate. In these countries, stoning or lapidation is still practiced or authorized by law as a method of capital punishment for men or women accused of adultery, prostitution, blasphemy, and murder. The accused is buried waist down for men, while breast down for women. Then a group of persons, including the victim's family members, would throw stones in uniform size to the accused until death strikes. The slow form of execution is considered a form of execution by torture in the context of contemporary Western culture. Sadly, even if stoning is a barbaric form of execution that violates human rights, there's no international law that condemns it. Number 4. Marital rape. Rape is rape, be it stranger rape, date rape, or marital rape. Yes, a wife can accuse the man she vowed to love beyond death if he engages her in sexual intercourse without her consent, the operative word in marital or spouse rape cases. The lack of consent is an essential element and need not involve violence. Of course, in all cultures, sexual intercourse within marriage is regarded as every spouse's right. But engaging in non-consensual sex within marriage is now widely recognized by law and society as a form of domestic violence and sexual abuse. However, there are countries where forcing a spouse into sex is legal as long as certain conditions are met, such as in Ghana, India, Indonesia, Jordan, Lesotho, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and Tanzania. Horribly, a few of these nations permit it even if the victim is a child wife. The Women's Organization of the UN reports that 52 countries have criminalized marital rape and urge other countries to do so, because women's opinions aren't just confined in the kitchen and dining room. Their opinions matter in the bedroom too. Number 3. Female genital mutilation. In 2016, UNICEF estimated that 200 million women today, usually young girls and adolescents, have undergone female genital mutilation, or FGM in short. It's such an overwhelming number of females subjected to an excruciatingly painful procedure using sharp objects like knives, razor blades, or pieces of glass. This cultural practice of cutting or removing some or all of the external female genitalia may damage healthy and normal genital tissue and may interfere with the natural function of a female's body. FGM has no health benefits, but instead poses serious harm such as infections and hemorrhage that can lead to shock and death. Anxiety, depression, and feelings of parental betrayal may be experienced by the FGM victims too. Clearly, it violates a number of these women's human rights. Yet, it's shocking to know that FGM is still prevalent in 30 countries, especially in Africa, parts of the Middle East, and Asia. Many countries have passed legislation to make it a criminal offense, and the United Nations has called to eliminate FGM by 2030. That's minus one horrible pain in the lives of millions of women. Number 2. Cannibalism. One man's flesh becomes another person's gustatory delight. This is truly absurd and revolting, but cannibalism remains a common practice in some places, especially in the tribal communities for varying reasons. The Karawai tribe of Papua New Guinea believes that when a member dies mysteriously, it's due to a witch man called Kakua, who then possesses the dead man's body. As a revenge, the tribesmen would consume the lifeless body. The Agori monks in Varanasi, India, performed cannibalistic rituals for spiritual enlightenment. For the Amawakas, a group of cannibals in Peru, they must eat the dead person's body in order to keep the departed inside of a warm friend, rather than the cold ground, while Congo's militiamen take part in a cannibalistic ritual eating of the flesh of their enemies, with the beliefs that they'll be endowed with special powers, whether it's for adhering to religious beliefs, preserving primitive traditions, or propagating cultural norms. Cannibalism practices may never cease in these primeval tribes. Thank goodness it's a taboo in modern societies. Otherwise, restaurant menus may have a section for gourmet human flesh dishes. Ugh, Ugh. Number 1. Bestiality. In a civilized world, human beings are raised and taught to treat animals as fellow living creatures by respecting, loving, and taking care of them like our own. But would a person be considered an outlaw if loving and caring for the animal goes to the extent of having sex with it? More so, if the act is driven by prurient interest. Bestiality, the cross-species sexual activity between humans and animals, has been banned in more countries starting in 2000. But it's sickening to know that certain countries enshrine bestiality. For instance, pubescent boys in northern Colombia practice having sex with donkeys to improve their sexual prowess and increase their manhood size. In Iceland and Finland, bestiality has been legalized since 1940 and 1971, respectively. Other countries that give humans the freedom to fornicate with animals include Argentina, Cuba, Guam, Chile, Brazil, Hungary, Romania, Czech Republic, and Japan. Even in certain American states like the District of Columbia, Hawaii, Kentucky, New Mexico, West Virginia, and Wyoming, bestiality is approved. Which makes one wonder, have living animals outnumbered human warm bodies in these places? Thanks for watching. Please like and share this video with your friends and subscribe to our channel for your daily dose of voodoo videos.